The Talkline Communications Network proudly presents its flagship program, Talkline, America's #1 Jewish program, the pulse beat of the Jewish community, with Zev Brenner. And now, your host, Zev Brenner.
And welcome to another edition of Talkline. I'm Zev Brenner. In just a moment, we'll introduce you to Rabbi Ben-Zion Schaefer. You may know him from podcasts, from audio lectures, from best-selling books. His latest one is called Finding and Keeping Your Soulmate. We'll give you some tips in just a few moments as we come to you over WSNR 620 AM, 1640 AM in Highland Park in Edison, New Jersey. Online anytime, talklinecommunications.com, powered by the JNet, and our 24-hour day listen line, 212-419-4240, extension number 1. We'll be back after these messages. Stay tuned.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
This is Ed Koch. Remember me? On June 26th, voters in your community will be going to the polls to vote for a new member of Congress. I urge you to vote for Hakeem Jeffries. Terrific guy. He will be a great congressman. Jeffries is great on the issues: job creation, affordable housing, protection of Social Security, Medicare, and education. Oh, did I mention Israel? He is a fierce defender of Israel. Get to know the candidates. I urge you to vote for Hakeem Jeffries on June 26th. Thank you.
Focus Electronics, a family-owned business since 1967, located at 4509 13th Avenue in Borough Park, has a wide selection of energy-efficient air conditioners to keep you cool this summer. Energy Star qualified air conditioners incorporate high-efficiency fan motors, which use less energy to circulate air and create less noise. Advanced compressors draw more heat from the air into the coils than standard models, which save the energy required to compress the refrigerant. Energy Star qualified room air conditioners use about 10% less energy than conventional models, which could mean a savings of more than $60 over the life of the unit. Focus's Energy Star room air conditioners include timers for better temperature control, allowing you to use the minimum amount of energy needed to cool your room. That way you can save more money for your summer barbecue. So, what are you waiting for? Replace your conventional room air conditioner with a new Energy Star qualified room air conditioner today, and save 10% off of your energy bill by calling Focus Electronics today at 718-436-4646. That's 718-436-4646. Same-day delivery and installation available. Ask about extended guarantee coverage.
If you need carpet, don't go to the market. Shop at Quality. For new flooring, this time do the right thing. Go to Quality. Quality carpet is the shortest distance between 2 points. Whether the point is carpeting or the point is flooring, the answer is Quality Carpet. 214 Ditness Avenue, right outside of Borough Park. Call 718-941-4200.
If you're looking for low prices on all cellular plans, great service, efficient and courteous staff, where do you go? You go where I go. High Tech 2000, located at 1270 47th Street in Brooklyn, right across from the Avenue Plaza Hotel. And if you're traveling to Israel, the best rates is wireless rentals. So stay connected to friends and family at only 6 cents per minute to call directly to the United States. That's only from High Tech 2000. Mention my name and get a free daily rental. High Tech 2000, whether it's local or overseas, the place for all your cellular phone sales and rentals. High Tech 2000, 1270 47th Street. Call them. 718-851-7300. That's 718-851-7300. Tell them Zev sent you.
Hi, this is Sam Haskell, Executive Vice President of HMS Associates. For over 13 years, we've been servicing the community doing appraisals and real estate evaluations. If you are a buyer, you shouldn't purchase a property before getting an independent appraisal. Sellers have to make sure that they are not under or overselling. If you're doing estate planning, preparing your estate taxes with real estate involved, you must have a professional appraisal. Nonprofits can't sell their property unless they have a professional assessment for the Attorney General's office. If you're going through a divorce or if you feel your real estate taxes are too high, then call me for a free consultation. I advise and work with lawyers, bankers, and accountants, as well as private individuals. Anytime you need an appraisal, please call me, as I'm happy to answer all your questions. Don't do anything until you call me at 855-HMS-PLUS for a free consultation. That's 855-HMS-PLUS. Also online at hmsappraisals.com.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Zev Brenner. With us once again, Rabbi Ben Zion Schaefer. You may know him for the Shmooze. Gets about 10,000 people listening to his lectures. His third book is called The Shmooze on Bitachon and Keeping and Finding Your Soulmate. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Thank you, Zev. Good. Welcome.
I should add that your book is part one because there's more coming up on this issue, right?
Well, there are. You know, the issue of bitachon, as it applies to life, is a pretty expansive topic.
That means faith, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
It's a big topic. Now, I think you've written a book dealing with how to find your soulmate. We're looking around. Why do you suppose that we have so many people that are out there looking for their soulmate, so many people that are professionals, good people, but can't seem to find their soulmate?
You know, Zev, it's a good question, but a little bit of a loaded question. I'm not going to pretend to have the single answer to all of life's issues and not even to the shidduch crisis. But what I found, and, you know, because I deal with hundreds of young people, there is an issue that I find on a regular basis, and that is that people have certain preconceived notions of what they need to be happy, what they need and have to have, and what they're not willing to compromise on. And what I find is many a time, a person can't find their beshert because, quite honestly, they're not looking for their beshert. They're looking for some preconceived notion of what they think they need, and oftentimes they're patently wrong.
So what, in other words, have expectations of what people are looking for changed? Have people changed? Or is it much tougher to find somebody decent these days? What is it?
You know, that's certainly a very good question. You know, it's probably a combination of both, but let's deal with one part of it. In other words, quite a number of times I find that people, when they go out, have a long laundry list of what they're looking for. I need someone who's this, who's that, who's extroverted, introverted. I need someone who's happy or not, or, you know, but it's very detailed and very specific. You know, I'll give you an example. I had a fellow call me up, and as strange as it sounds, this was literally the conversation. He goes, Rebbe, you got to help me. Sure, what's up? I was read to this girl. Good. What's the problem? Well, the problem is I think I'm going to fall for her. So what's the problem? She's not what I'm looking for. So I asked him, what do you mean? And he said, well, and these were the words, I'm looking for a girl who's going to want to have a bugaboo stroller, like that kind of lifestyle, and she's not that. And I said to myself, oh, my goodness, what this fellow has done is created a certain image that he needs a wife who's going to be into a certain level of materialism, and if he doesn't get that wife, he's not going to be happy, because that's the life he wants to lead, and if a woman's not as fancy as that, he won't be happy. Now, the strange part is, and it's hard to believe as it is, this is, you know, a reasonably intelligent fellow, not a, you know, a somewhat mature fellow, but he has this perception. And, you know, even though that's anecdotal, I find over and over people have very real perceptions of what they think they need, and oftentimes they find it has nothing to do with success in a marriage, nothing to do with their happiness, but this is their preconceived notion.
But is it their preconceived notion, or is it society? How many times do you hear, for example, about those that go on shidduch dates where they have a matchmaker set them up, and if the family's not the right family, go to the wrong shul, go to the wrong bungalow colony, have plastic on their tablecloths, where they won't even give the guy or the girl a chance?
Yep. Here's a better one. The best one I've heard so far. How long did he sing Zemiros? It's got to be exactly the right amount of time. Not too much, not too little, because that's what I need to be happy. Now, there are things that a person needs, and I'm not denying that. It has to be a level of attraction. It has to be a certain chemistry. But at the end of the day, if a person thinks that they're so wise that they fundamentally understand themselves, fundamentally understand marriage, and fundamentally understand what they need, I don't find it to be true at all. In other words, meaning, here, I give the following exercise. I ask a young person with the following challenge. Find the perfect roommate. Here's the way it works. You can choose anyone you want, but you choose this roommate, and this roommate you will share together the next 4 years, and once you pick this person, there's no exchange. Now, a roommate is not that difficult because you're just doing some things together. But what you're doing in a marriage is you're finding the person with whom you're going to spend the rest of your life. But here's the problem. Men and women are different. Men and women have different interests,
different tendencies, different natures. For a young person to be able to say, I know what I need, what they have to know, number one, is they have to know themselves. Fundamentally, they have to know how they react, what's significant to them. They have to understand their personality. But number two, they have to know where they're going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. A marriage, hopefully, is for life. Who really has the wisdom or the audacity to say, I know where I'm going to be 25 years from now, so I know exactly what it is that I need. I know my personality. I know the matching gender type. I know where I'll be for the rest of my life, so therefore I'm able to choose exactly what it is that I need. And ironically, people create these very, very detailed lists, and those lists are typically the most silly, frivolous things you can imagine. And again, I only say this because I deal with young people on a regular basis, and I hear the long list of why they won't go out with someone, and even worse, why they dropped someone. And it's actually heartbreaking, because you see people who clearly pass by probably their bashert and just walk right by him and say she's not good enough, she's not smart enough, she's not wealthy enough, not from my family.
But they won't give them a chance. But the problem is not so much only with the people in the dating pool or in the singles pool. I think it's the society around them. The values are that you have to have somebody that fits a certain bill, and you go through a checklist. Then how could anybody break through that if you're part of that chevra, part of that group, and you have a checklist in order to go out? So how do you get out of that? It's not the people; it's the culture around them.
Okay, Zev, 100% correct. And that's, again, the focus of this book is to understand what is the role of a young person going out. In other words, meaning what's my hishtadlus? What should be the proper protocol? What am I looking for? What's my approach? And again, let's start from the wrong approach. The way I think most people go out is I think they play what I call Mr. Potato Head. Here's how it works. I have a certain personality, I have certain interests, I have certain needs. Based on that, I create my Mr. Potato Head. The little children's toy, you pick the ears, you pick the nose, you build it. And then most people create their Mr. Potato Head, and they go into the marketplace and try to find the one that comes closest. And lo and behold, they find that it just doesn't work. It doesn't work because they're not looking for their bashert. And you see, Zev, this is the key. Hashem created for each person a bashert. Chazal tell us 40 days before a person's born, Hashem says, Bat ploni leploni, this person to this person. Your job is to go out there and find your bashert, not to make him or her, not to make your Mr. Potato Head and then try to find the one that you think you need. It's to go out there and find the one that Hashem has designated, created for you. Your job is to go out there and find it. And if you use the system that way, I find over and over a lot of heartache, problems, troubles are avoided.
But let me ask you this question, though. So, of course, we're taught that everyone is destined to have his or her bashert, the destined one, but how does one go about finding it? Because in order to find one, you have to be looking in the right places.
Okay, it's a very good question. I think there are two parts to it. There's what I call the paper test and the bashert test. The paper test is before anyone meets anyone, hopefully before anyone is even aware of anyone, you look on paper to do the two match. Are they looking for the same things in life? Are they heading in the same direction? If he intends to learn for the next 10 years and she only shops in Saks Fifth Avenue, we have a little problem there. But assuming that they're holding in about the same place, looking for the same things, they line up on paper. Now you take the bashert test, and this is the key. What is the bashert test? The bashert test is you go out and you see if there's a certain commonality, a certain comfort level, the dates are going well, the conversations flow. There's just a feeling, it just feels right. It's not rockets on the 4th of July. It's not mad, passionate love. It's just a sense that this seems to be the right one. But you see, that's the key ingredient. It seems to fit.
If you hear bells are ringing, it's the wrong religion, right?
Well, bells are ringing, if anything, is a problem. Because you see, when the bells are ringing, what you mean is you're infatuated. And infatuation blinds a person. They've done studies that show that infatuation is the same effect on a person as cocaine use. The same neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine levels increases. You can look at the brain scans of people who fall in love and people who use cocaine, and it's similar changes. So when a person says, I'm infatuated, that's not necessarily a good sign. What it means is you're blinded, and now you're no longer rational. Now, infatuation has a role. It's an important role, but I've seen many...
The Talkline Communications Network proudly presents its flagship program, Talkline, America's #1 Jewish program, the pulse beat of the Jewish community, with Zev Brenner. And now, your host, Zev Brenner.
And welcome to another edition of Talkline. I'm Zev Brenner. In just a moment, we'll introduce you.